What's up? Welcome back to another episode of A Goat's Hearing Aid. This is number 16. Podcast number 16, dude. You know, I've started these podcasts. This is my third iteration of a podcast. I started with Unnecessary Podcast, and then Devin Baird's Introduction to Life. And now I'm on Devin Baird's I've Got Nothing. So it's kind of a combination of both of my first podcasts, which I did not think about until this moment. But, you know, your brain just does things sometimes, and you can't really help it. But right now, I'm a little stuffy. I'm a little congested, and I've got stuff in my ears. And the frustration that happens when you can't hear properly, the fact that I'm hearing myself in my head, not being just like the normal hearing of myself in my head, is very frustrating. It's got like a weird echo, like I'm in a dark cave somewhere, and it's just reverberating off my eardrums. And it's a little, it's uneasing and it's infuriating all at the same time. So that's how things are starting today. I woke up and just couldn't hear out of my left ear. So, got that loose mucus, and then slept on my left side for too long, obviously. But, we deal with it. We overcome. There are greater odds than some ear congestion, for sure. Dude, I used to have ear congestion all the time. When I was a kid, dude, I straight up in one of my classes, I remember this because I was in a double block which is 2 blocks. So I was on the block system in middle school and high school, and we were in a double block of science because we would go on these field trips every once in a while. So they would put in these double blocks, which was like a 3.5 hour class, which was insane to have a class for 3.5 hours. But I remember we were taking a test in that class one day, and I had really bad allergies that day, like super bad. And through the whole test, I sneezed. It was probably, it wasn't the whole block that we took the test, but it was probably like a normal block. So it was probably like an hour and a half. And I was sneezing the entire time. And there's nothing that I could do about it. I probably have the world record for back-to-back sneezes. Oh, my Lord. And that's what happens when I start talking fast right after I drink water. So. But yeah. Dude, I've always had bad allergies, and I was sniffly. And then yesterday I woke up and I was so... No, did I wake up? Well, obviously I woke up, but was it in the morning? Yeah. Yeah, it was in the morning. Oh, dude, my eyes... Allergies in your eyes is probably the most frustrating. When your eyes, like the corner of your eyes, right where your tear ducts come out, it feels like there's something stabbing you right there, and then you like have to massage the hell out of your eyes just to give any sort of relief, and then it only makes it worse because then it dries your eyes out more, maybe. I don't really know, but I was in a serious amount of pain from my stupid eyes, and now I'm good, I took an allergy pill yesterday, and I put some 4-year-old eye drops in, and, now I'm kicking. I was a little worried that my eyes would just melt, but I figured, hey, they probably wouldn't let that happen after just a few years after it being like something that you put in your eyes. That would be absurd. But, yeah. What's up, man? It's freaking nice here, finally. It's been raining like a lot, and it's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's 66 degrees outside. I've got the garage door open. That's why I've got this beautiful halo of light on my right side. Um, and you know, the dogs are playing, and it's cool. It's cool outside. It's not. I'm not sweaty. I'm sitting in a leather chair and I'm not sweating, which is always good. If you sit in a leather chair and it's over 70 degrees, you're sweating, obviously. But right now it's below 70, so I'm chilling. Dude, yesterday I went to the United game, and dude, it just wasn't fun, man. And part of it is because like I'm frustrated. It's hard to watch soccer after like retiring from college soccer. You're just like you just don't really want to interact with it too much. Like you want to play. That's the whole thing is you want to be playing. You don't want to watch it. So it's difficult to watch. And it's especially difficult to watch when the team is being like so man, they're being really annoying right now. And I heard that it was like their strategy. They were going to be tougher on things and they were going to be more physical. But they're more physical means that they're just getting into fights every goddamn foul that there is, no matter what side it is. Like if there's a foul on them or if they get fouled, they get into a fight with the other team and the ref every goddamn time. I mean, it's insane. And they're not doing great right now. I haven't been following super closely, but from what I've heard, they have not been doing great. And the fact that they're focusing so much on the other team and so much on the ref leads me to believe that that's a good reason why they're maybe not doing as good as they could. Obviously, I'm not anywhere part of the team, so you can take it as you wish, but this is just from looking at it and playing soccer. It's also the fans are so goddamn annoying, dude. And I think that this is diehard fans for any team ever. It's so annoying, man. No one can do wrong. Like no one on the team can do wrong in the eyes of the fans, and there are no good tackles from the other team. Like there's nothing. Like they can't just get the ball stripped away from them with a quality tackle, and people will like be like, "Oh yeah, that was a fucking good tackle." No matter what it is, it's a foul. It's always a foul. And having played soccer and trying to watch it is so annoying because I'm just like, "Hey, can we just have the game play?" And so this is, I would want to watch their games on TV more. But I mean, still, they're getting into these verbal altercations with the ref and these physical pushing matches with the other team so much that it's. I did not want to be at that game at all. It was not fun to watch. But yeah, dude, yesterday one of their players got sent off. Like he got a red card because he was talking to the ref too much. He got a red card talking to the ref. I've gotten those. You're letting your team down, no matter what. I mean, you just have to play the game. And if you're getting a red card for talking to the ref or saying something stupid to the other team or whatever it is, then you're letting your team down. And the fans clapping him off of the field and then booing the ref, I mean, fine, boo the ref, that's great, whatever. But clapping your player off the field when he gets a red card for talking to the ref, if it's a foul or something and it was a second yellow and it was just, whatever. But talking to the ref and getting a red card and then getting clapped off the field like you did nothing wrong. I don't know, man. That made me really upset because like being on the field, being if you were part of that team and one of your players gets a red card for talking, I've been that player. And my team gets pissed at me because they're like, hey, Devin, shut up. We're playing a game, you know? And I got to take that on me. And I'm sure he is, you know? But the fans just, they don't get it, you know? There's so many, and I'm sure it happens at every team. You know, there's always those fans where nothing can be, in the eyes of them, nothing happens. Nothing can go wrong for that team. I mean, nothing. What can go wrong? Jesus Christ. They can do no wrong in the eyes of their supporters. You know, and I'm sure there's, like I said, a group for every team where it's like that. But it's just like, come on, man. At some point, admit when there's a good tackle. And admit when your team is acting like a bunch of pansies right now. I don't know. That was just frustrating, you know? I wanted to watch a good game and just... It takes so much away from the game when you're getting into these altercations every time you get touched, dude. And some of them are so dramatic, and it makes me understand, you know, when people who haven't been soccer fans, haven't come from a soccer upbringing, watch soccer and they're like, well, they're just falling on the floor. Because sometimes they are. Oh, dude, hold up. I got to turn this on. This is going to make me mad. Yes. Oh, that did almost nothing, but I'm glad I did it. I had to turn that light. That light that I set right there. That's a nice light. My dogs are just playing WWE SmackDown, except for it's not fake. It's like real. You know, my dog Homer just loves to fight with, he loves to play. He just loves playing with the other dogs. But we have a Great Dane Mastiff that's like twice his size at least. In weight, probably almost 4 times his size, but he loves picking fights with her. And she'll just grab him by the neck and slam him on his back on the ground and then just like wiggle around with her mouth around his neck, and he just does that. There you go. Exactly. But she's gotten better at understanding when to stop. Hi, big girl. Yeah, go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can hear that. She's a 200-pound beast, you know? Sometimes they breathe fire. You got to breathe fire on this mic, you know? But I don't know what I was saying. Oh, I was talking about United. Also, dude, the lines at these places are always too goddamn long. I don't know why. Like, there should be like a seating arrangement, like at a wedding. Like, this table gets to go, this table gets to go, this table gets to go, you know? It should be the same. Like, this section, hey, now you guys can go get food. And so we'll only have 14 people in each line, maybe. But I just wanted a soft pretzel with cheese during the game, and I didn't end up getting it until like the 87th minute, and then the game was over, and I was still stuck there eating a pretzel with cheese. But I mean, it was, dude, and they oversalt the hell out of it on the salted ones. I mean, they're just trying to murder us, quite frankly, and I appreciate it. I don't. You know, sometimes you need someone that's not looking out for your best interest. And that's most people. Because they're looking out for their best interest. So, I don't know. What am I even talking about at this point? Dude, it's been a long week, and I am pretty tired, and I'm about to drive for 7 hours to go see my girlfriend. And I've been making some progress in work, and I'm really excited with the way things are going at the restaurant and the shopping center. But it's just like such a frustrating process because, for one, you can't do everything. And that's something that I'm starting to learn. And it's like, I don't know. It's like an ebb and a flow. I've got to find out how much I need to do and how much I don't need to do, because if I empower other people to do stuff, we can get more done. However, if I let go too much, then nothing gets done, I guess, maybe. But I'm really excited with the way things are going. We've got some awesome fucking plans for Vernon's and the shopping center as well. It's going to be really cool, but there's a lot of stressful stuff going on, and I feel extremely fortunate to be in the position that I am in, but I just, it's hard to understand the oh my god. Oh my god. My dog almost knocked over my light. Um it's hard to understand people's, like, you can't think about the way people think about you. That was weird noise that I just made. But it's really like, and I don't often, but sometimes I do think about how other people perceive the way that I work and the way what my role is. Um, and it's difficult because sometimes, like, a lot of the times, my role is not um, focused on the present. So, like, so harshly. A lot of the times, my role is focused on like where we're gonna be in the future and how it's gonna look in the future, and setting up plans and goals and deadlines and stuff like that, which is fun and exciting, but it's also boring and unsatisfying, because I mean, a lot of the goals and plans and stuff that I have set out for especially the restaurant are years away. Not they're not things that we're going to accomplish tomorrow, and it's gonna be immensely satisfying once we get to those points. But right now, it's just it's just a struggle being able to like understand how that progression is going to happen, and so like you can always set up plans, but things are always going to be different than how you plan them, no matter what. There's always going to be a change in your plan, especially if it's like a far reaching plan. If it's anywhere past like 2 years, you have no idea what's going to happen, so you can set up ideas and you can set up plans, but you have to be ready and willing to make changes and just move with the way things are moving, you know, because there's so many different ways that life could shift in a 2 year span. So, I'm setting up those plans and I'm trying to understand just how life is working. And god damn, there's so many flies. That's something that, God. There's always work to do. There's always so much more work to do. It's hard to understand when to take a break. You know? Dude, the other day I was riding my bike. I went to drop off on one of my cars at the shop to get some work done. And I took my bike with me so I could ride my bike back because everyone else was sleeping. But on my way back, I was riding on the bike trail, and I I I'm cooking. I'm a big boy. I got big tires, and I move quick. And so I'm passing all of these people, and I pass this one guy. And like as I'm passing him, he starts talking to me, but doesn't stop talking to me. Like I'm gonna stay on my pace. I'm not gonna slow down to talk to this guy that I have never met before. I've got places to be, and that was at home, But he started talking to me, and he was talking to me about these people being in the middle of yeah. So there were two runners that were up in front of us, and they were like taking up both sides of the bike trail. And he was saying something about like, oh, they better get out of the way or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, all right, yeah. Like just, I was like, whatever. They're just running, who cares? But then he starts talking to me about another time, not related to the current time that we're in, where someone was in his way, but also I'm not talking to him. I mean, at this point, I'm 10 feet ahead of him. And he's trying to tell me a story about another time where people were in his way. And I was like, okay. And I was being nice. I was just responding, but I'm not going to slow down to talk to him because I'm going. And it would be freaking awkward to slow down to talk to him after I'm already 30 feet in front of him. You're like, oh yeah, what were you saying? Do you have more to say? That'd be kind of hard, if he like forgot, like just was like, oh wait, you're gonna listen to what I'm saying. But nonetheless, he kept talking to me, and I was probably at least 50, 60 feet ahead of him, and he's still yelling at me, telling me a story about these people being in his way. And I was like, oh yeah, oh okay, yeah. Like I couldn't even hear the story really. And I was just like, what is going on? It was a very confusing moment for me because I was like, am I conversating with this man? Like, did I say something that led to us starting a conversation more? Or was I just thrown into this? Is this guy just throwing a Hail Mary to like try and find a new buddy? I was very like confused. And I've thought about that, and it's been probably 2 weeks now since that happened, and I've thought about it more times than I should have. I mean, at least 4 times or 5 since then. Because it was so confusing and so just out of the blue. Like most people, when you pass them, they just like give you a nod or something. But this guy tried to start a full-on conversation while we're going different speeds. Like either speed up or like right when I pass, be like, "Hey, I want to talk for a minute. Like, you want to talk?" Honestly, if someone said that to me, I'd probably be like, "Sure, whatever." I can't. I'm cool with a conversation for a little bit, but that was just a very interesting interaction with some random guy that I'll probably never see again. And even if I did, I would have no idea who he is because I didn't see his face really for very long. I was making time. I was honestly, I was going too fast. I was going faster than I should have been because a lot of people might have been like, "Hey, you're not Lance Armstrong," and I know that because I have 2, if you know what I'm saying. I have 2 of those, and because of interesting or not interesting, but unfortunate circumstances, he does not have two of those, and I do. So I know that I'm not, but sometimes I question, like, could I, especially when I'm making some crazy, like, I'm making speeds where people are, think that they can have a conversation with me and then realize, oh wow, he's already 100 yards ahead of me. Then they're probably like, hey, that might be Lance Armstrong's kid, which I'm not, but I have two, like I said, but I have no idea where that came from or where I was going with that, but it felt good. It was a good riff, and I enjoyed just continuing on with that thought process. I've been having these weird moments over the past couple of days where I've like completely like when you're watching a video, like a YouTube video or whatever video, and you pause, like you just like zone out of the video to think about something, and you talk with yourself in your own head. I've been having that in real life in conversations with my words that I'm saying to the other people, and it's been very disassociative. Like, it's been super confusing. Like, it completely takes me out of my environment, and I feel like I'm somewhere else completely. It feels like I'm a player in a video game and everything's on pause for a moment while I talk with myself. And it is the most confusing and unreal thing that I've ever felt. I was having a conversation with my girlfriend over FaceTime, and I have no idea what I was talking about, but I started talking and everything just faded away. And it was like I was talking with myself. However, I was responding to her or telling her something that we were talking about. And I was not connected to, like, but she was not connected to it, you know? And it happened another time at the restaurant when I was talking with this guy who paused for so, like, way too long. And it completely took me out, and I felt like I was in a video game and everything paused for a moment, and then I was just talking with myself. And it's happened more than 2 times over the past probably 2 weeks. And I don't know what's happening, but it makes me wonder about, like, what is going on with, like, the simulation. I just completely, I guess it's like me losing so much focus on my surroundings. Dude, that's what it is. I'm becoming a monk. Dude, I'm so present with my life that when I'm speaking, that's the only thing that's happening. And that is the most egotistical fucking thing that I could possibly think of. But that's what it's like. And maybe that's the progression towards that happening with others, hopefully, when they start talking, that's the only thing that's happening. Because I've always been hyper aware of everything that's going on. But in this moment, in these few moments, like, everything just fades away. And I am the only, like, it's just me and my voice. Jesus. It's just me and my voice. And it's maybe I'm just getting to know myself a little bit better. Hi, nice to meet you. So, I don't know. That's a weird thing that I wanted to tell you about. A couple of weird things that I wanted to tell you about. And that's how this podcast is going to go, I suppose. I had my buddy Dylan here for a little while, and it's such a weird, experience with people that you're really close with, because when you come back together, like, we didn't even say what's up, man, like, how you been. We just started talking shit, hanging out. When you know someone so well and like you're good buddies, like, shit doesn't and nothing like shit doesn't change over a year. You're just like, well, your hair looks so much different for one, but you're still the person, you know? So that's and that's where I was going with this. We did our podcast, which was it was horrible, and I wanted to do another one, but we didn't have enough time because he left. He was only there for a week, and he listened to a few of my podcasts when he had some time, and he was excited. Like, he listened to my podcast where I talked with other people, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'd really like to come on the podcast and do like something more serious where we talked about like film and stuff," which, I think we did. Like, we got more serious, but I don't think that we'll ever have a podcast where it's like a fully serious podcast, because we're buddies. Like, we're just going to talk shit with each other. That's just how it works. But it made me think about like the podcasts and how much like the same podcast has changed. Like, this whole podcast was set up for me to interview people, but it was so hard for me to find people to interview on a regular basis that I was actually interested in talking with, which is a big caveat, because I'm sure I could go pick someone up off the road and they would probably babble at me for an hour and a half if that's what I wanted to do. And that might be super interesting, actually. But, yeah, the people that I was trying to get and trying to talk to, it was just like, it was becoming more than what I wanted it to be. And I'm not a scheduler. I don't have an assistant. I don't have someone who sets up, I don't have a producer who brings in guests. It's all me. So I'm trying to talk with these people, trying to set up times, trying to work in my normal life and do work. And then also just trying to figure out, because I'm filming and editing and doing all of the behind the scenes work for this podcast as well, which, it's not hard, but it takes some time. And so when I put all that together with trying to also find a guest and find a good time for us to talk with the guest, it just adds a lot in to this equation that is not, like, I'm not super ready for. When I could just, when I have some free time, sit down on the podcast, talk shit, and it'll be more consistent. And I can help myself with myself, Because quite frankly, just talking on this podcast helps me get through a lot of weird stuck areas that I feel mentally. And it may not even be by like talking about the exact thing that I'm talking about, but just talking around things, and the idea of like mindset stuff. Because like I said in a past podcast, when you're talking to yourself in your head, you're insane and you don't actually understand what you're saying. And so when you can actually verbalize the communication and hear it from yourself, you realize, hey, that was fucking crazy what I was telling myself. And hey, I'm going to be fine. That's my advice to so many people, is like, get out of your own head by just talking with other people I get so excited about my business ideas and stuff, especially like after a good time of me, like, dude, and I'll just sit and I will think by myself and not talk about stuff, especially right now when like my family is out of town a lot and I'm just working. And a lot of my work is not interacting with people on a daily basis, but I will just think about these ideas, and then after a good bit of time, they just sound horrible, and you're like, this is never gonna work. What like why would I even try this? But then like you get the opportunity to talk with someone about those ideas, and you're like, Jesus, dude, yes, I have so much passion for this idea. I'm so excited about it happening in the future, and you feel like it's possible when you start talking with people, and you start like trying to convey your dream to these people that aren't in your head and don't understand what your brain is telling you, you know? And so as much as like I love talking to people, it gets me so riled up. It gets me like gets me excited, not riled up. Riled up has like a weird connotation to it, but it gets me excited about the future, and it gets me excited about where I can take things and what I'm going to be capable of doing in the future, you know? Because and it also helps you like flesh out some weird ideas, because there's that weird pressure of being in the moment where you're talking with someone and some of your ideas you haven't thought out all the way. But like you try and kind of come up with an idea, and maybe it's not the exact idea that you want, but it will it'll spring roll you into like kind of the idea that you think is proper. And all of this is like a weird iteration. From what I've learned is like it just takes, there's so much iteration that happens while things are in the planning phase, and then starting into that development phase is there's so many different iterations, and like that whole vision of what you thought it was going to be is going to be so like just a different universe, because like your head is one universe and the reality is a different universe. So having things actually come to the fruition of in your head is not always going to be possible or realistic or efficient or even the best. A lot of the times you'll find a way better idea once you get it out there and you start talking with people, because contrary to popular belief, there are some people out there that have thoughts that are worth listening to. And that is something that I'm having to learn, and something that I'm working on. There's so many times where you can just sit back, and I've talked about this before already, and I know that, but you can sit back and you can see someone who is so good in their field, and you can just sit there and you can learn. You can just take a moment and realize, hey, this is this person's expertise, or this person is really good at this. So maybe I should just like chill and listen to what they have to say, watch the way that they work, and maybe I will learn something a little bit about it that will allow me to be better at my job in the future. Because, there's always room for improvement and room for learning. And there are some people that are so good at just like, I don't know what it is, but like helping you even through ideas. Like there are some people that when you go and talk to them about your ideas, you know that you're just going to make some progress on those ideas. Because they're so good at just maybe adding a little bit on, or just encouraging you to go a little bit further in your thinking. And it's so fun talking with those people, because these ideas just flourish into something that you couldn't even really have thought of in your own head because there wasn't that outside input and you were in your own stupid echo chamber of thought. Yeah, I was, you know, I was talking there. Dude, my mouth gets so dry when I do these podcasts. And even when I get I'm talking about right now, I get excited about talking with people and my mouth gets dry because I'm really verbalizing things quickly. And a lot of my saliva ends up coming out of my mouth apparently. Not to say that I'm a spitter when I talk, but I probably do a little bit more movement of my saliva from inside of my mouth to outside of my mouth than most people do. So, I mean, not to like, hey, everyone does it, so just chill. That's why we were wearing masks for a while. And we might, I don't know, we'll probably end up going back at some point. I don't want to, but I don't know what's going on, dude. These variants and all this shit. And, dude, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, just go get vaccinated, man. I didn't want to get vaccinated either. I don't want to have to get vaccinated. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is right now, if we're not vaccinated, we're giving the damn virus more time to mutate and become something much worse than what it is already. Like, just waste. And it's so easy to go get vaccinated. It takes 10 minutes. You could walk into a place and they'd be like, oh, you just need to sign up online. And this is what I did. I missed my appointment. And they were like, oh, well, your appointment was yesterday. And I was like, oh, really? And then I went online, scheduled my appointment for that exact same time frame that I was there. And I got vaccinated. So, I don't know, dude. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. But, like, understand that you are putting yourself in a horrible position and you are affecting others around you. I mean, whether or not you believe that, you are, because you're giving the freaking virus more time to mutate, which makes it probably less. I mean, it depends. It can mutate into something that's far worse, and it'll do multiple of these things. It'll probably mutate into some, and also, just to preface this, if you think anything of what I'm saying right now, don't. Because I'm just talking out of my ass. So just relax. But if you don't get vaccinated and you do end up getting sick, for one, you're going to be much sicker. And a lot of people are talking about this. I already got it, so I'm going to... No, you'll get it again. And it's going to happen again. So don't think that you're all high and mighty because you got it already. I got it a long time ago, and now I don't have it, and I still got vaccinated because, hey, it'll get me again on a different strain or variant, whatever. But we're just giving it so much time and Lord Almighty, am I getting blown out? There we go. But oh yeah, it'll probably do multiple of these things. For one, it most likely will find its way into being something that's much, much more deadly and much more serious. And then it'll also probably have a strain that's like super not serious at all. But either of these ways could create a virus that is more immune to the vaccination and can actually punch through the vaccination a little bit easier. Making people sicker easier. I mean, cases with the stupid Delta variant have already started going up. Our hospitalization rates have thankfully stayed pretty close to the same because a lot of people are vaccinated. But once this starts going through places that are not vaccinated, we're probably going to see those hospitalization rates shoot back up again. However, we're not shutting the country down again because, hey, we don't have a problem with the health system right now. It's not over capacity. We're chilling, dude. God. And to reiterate, there's no reason I should be talking about this. This is just my thought process, and I'm just thinking, and I'm just talking. And I had a thought about 2 minutes ago that I wanted to talk about, and I forgot it. So I'm frustrated about that, and I'm upset. But, that is what it'll be. And, what it is will be. Oh, dude. Also, it's 8 a.m. So I got off to an early start today. I went to bed at 11, woke up at 5:50. And so I'm roaring. And by roaring, I mean yawning. So it'll be a good day. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to go. Arizona is going to be so goddamn hot, but I'm excited to go for a few days and get to hang out with my girlfriend and her family. And then I get to go to a wedding, which will be my third wedding that I've ever been to, and it'll be my buddy's wedding, and I'm excited for him to get married. And I've never been to like a friend's wedding. So, or someone that I even knew, really, Oh. Dude, it's nice out right now. I'm so excited for fall. I love fall. Early spring, late fall, best times of the year. Everything's cool. There's like that nice even, we getting down into the 40s and the 50s at night, and woo, that crisp, moist air, which was too hard for me to say. But it's the best. So that morning air, you wake up, you're like, ooh, that feels good, I miss it already. This summer was not that bad. Usually the summer affects me much more, but maybe that's just me getting, becoming more mentally capable of dealing with it, because it wasn't too bad. I was sweaty a lot. I know that. And so I stunk, but who cares? If you stink, you stink for a low flat rate. And I'm yawning already, and it's 8 a.m., and that's not good. Are you supposed to yawn in the morning or at night? That's a really weird... I guess both, huh? I guess it doesn't... Dude, what's the word? Damn, what's the word? Whatever. Who cares? You don't even care. Oh, yeah. We're almost 50 minutes in. I can't believe that I can just sit here and ramble for 50 minutes about just honestly nothing. And to think that there's even one person out there that listens to me talk like that for 50 minutes is honestly insane. But if you do, and you are enjoying any of this, thank you. And I appreciate you. But we'll see. I was thinking about this the other day. I want to, I just want to continue making these like this for like at least 50 episodes. And then before I even start posting about it again, like on my social media, like I will share them on, if you haven't already, go follow the Devin Baird's I've Got Nothing Instagram page, and I will share little clips on there, but I'm not going to promote them on my own social, like my own Instagrams and stuff like that, because I just want to have time to get better at this and try and build people, like build a fan base of people who are like looking for it, maybe, or maybe stumble across it and are like, well, this is kind of interesting, and he seems kind of crazy, which is a fun thing. So let's stick around. But that's kind of my plan right now, is to do 50 episodes at least, and just like have it grow as organically as it possibly can, and not share it, and have a good backlog for if I do start sharing it, have a good backlog of episodes where people can go and binge and listen, and really understand what this whole thing, whatever this is. I don't even understand what it is because I'm 16 episodes in. But it's fun. I enjoy just being able to rant and talk about random stuff, and I would very much enjoy continuing to do this. So that's what I'm gonna do, because I do have fun doing it. I have fun doing a lot of stuff. That's always been my problem, is I like doing so many things. And when you like doing so many things, you don't know what to pick to do. And I'm like, I would say that I'm moderately good at most of the things that I pick to do. Not great, but if I put in time, I could be good. Like, I could be better. Like, I mean, everybody should be able to. Dude, that's such a weird thing, is like, you can't be in other people's heads whatsoever. You have no idea what they're thinking or feeling, or, there are some people out there that could be like in a fit of anger and rage, but they would be smiling on the outside and you would have no idea. And you're like, geez, man, like the self-control and that just ability to contain it when it wants to release is something that I'm working on. And I'm getting so much better at it. I'm not going to say much, but I had an altercation recently. And I felt really confident in my ability to just talk with this person in this state that they were in, and I was happy with the way I handled things. In comparison to how I've handled a lot of stuff in the past, it felt good. Like, I felt like I was actually in control of the situation, as much as you can be in a situation like that. But I'm growing more confident in my abilities to control my emotions, which, hey, you have to. It shouldn't be like a, ooh, yay, woohoo, kind of thing. It's like, if I want to do any of the things that I want to do, you can't be crazy. I can't be crazy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's exciting, but also, like I said, got to do it. So don't be too excited. Just make it happen. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I was going to say, but I had something and I don't have it anymore. And my dude, I'm trying to buy a house right now. I just put in an offer on a house for way over what they're asking, because that's how everything is going. So I'm just trying to be competitive because I want a goddamn house. And that's also not the mentality you should have when you're trying to buy a house, but whatever. We'll see. I'll probably get outbid anyway. It's a nice house. So, whatever. Some will fall through probably. But the process to buying a house is so frustrating, especially in this market, because you see all of these houses come onto the market and someone is just trying to break my brain again. And now my dogs are going to go bark at it. And that's the end of this podcast. I mean, why? Don't these people... Lucky. Hey, quiet your mouth. or go way further. You don't have to stand at the edge of the garage and bark. Hey, quit it. Okay, well, maybe I'll talk about the housing rant at another date, but I'm going to end this podcast before it gets out of control and it becomes too much, and I'm frustrated and I'm yelling at my dogs because they won't stop barking because they're dogs. And hey, chill. Come here. You don't need to bark. It's okay. It's okay. All right, well, that was episode 16 of the I've Got Nothing podcast. And if you want another one, drop a like. Hit the like button and subscribe on whatever you're on. And just, support the insanity or the whatever. I don't know what the word is. I'm done. 56 minutes of verbal communication to nobody. I'll take it. And plus I have to get stuff going so that I can leave at a proper time. All right. Well, that's a good send off with a nice burp. I'll send you off with a burp. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next episode of the I've Got Nothing podcast, which will be episode 17. And this is episode 16. And goodbye.